This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello there and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Tuesday, March 2. In Squiz Kids today, plastics banned in South Australia, the ice snake of Denver, Aussie tennis star wins tournament, and the Black Panther wins big. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
And it's bye-bye and see you later to plastic straws and plastic cutlery in South Australia after the government there yesterday introduced a ban on single-use plastics. What are they, I hear you ask? Just as the name suggests, they are common everyday items made of plastic that get used once, then thrown in the bin, and that can do damage to the environment. You've heard the mantra reduce, reuse, recycle at school, right? Plastic plates and forks and straws and spoons and those plastic tops on takeaway coffee cups, none of them fit into that mantra because it's really hard to do anything other than send them to the tip. And so South Australia has taken the step of banning them. The move will make a difference to the amount of waste that will be going into landfill. Landfill is the fancy name given to the burying of rubbish at the tip, which is what happens to a lot of the garbage that you put out in your bins. And plastic is one of those substances that does not break down easily. And South Australians, before you start feeling too smug, Victoria is set to follow you after they announced earlier this week that by 2023 they expect to put in place a similar ban that will also target cotton buds. Did you know that every Victorian sends approximately 68 kilograms of plastic to landfill every year? Yikes! Squiz Kids in far north Queensland, have you got your brollies at the ready? There's a tropical cyclone heading your way today, and the next few days are going to be wet. Some 40,000 homes in far north Queensland were without power last night, and a bunch of schools in Cairns and Townsville will be closed today. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Denver, Colorado, which is in the United States, where one family has made excellent use of the freezing cold weather that has swept through the US by creating the most truly excellent snow snake sculpture in their front yard. Measuring 23 metres in length, which is half the length of an Olympic swimming pool, and taking up the entirety of their front yard, the snow snake sculpture took 10 hours to build, requiring the family to craft the snow into a snake-like shape, then spray paint it for effect. The result is truly spectacular, and it comes 1 year after the same family wowed neighbours by building a snow tiger sculpture. And yes, of course, there are links to photos of both in today's episode notes.
Sport time.
Aussie tennis player Alexei Popyrin was celebrating yesterday after winning his first ever major tournament. 11 blistering aces, which is the name given to a tennis serve that is so fast and so accurate the player on the receiving end can't hit it back, helped Alexei to beat his rival Kazakhstan's Alexander Bublik. Kazakhstan is a country in Asia. Before this week, Alexei had never gotten further than a quarter-final in a major tournament. His win saw him jump from being ranked 114th in the world to 82nd. After the match, Alexei thanked his family, who, he said, had been behind him since he first picked up a tennis racket. Can I get a hallelujah to mums and dads everywhere who get their kids to sporting activities every weekend?
Pop Culture Corner.
If you've seen the Marvel superhero film Black Panther, you'd know the lead actor Chadwick Boseman. He plays, well, the Black Panther, so he's pretty hard to miss. You might also remember that after a battle with cancer, Chadwick sadly passed away last year at the age of only 43. Yesterday, Chadwick was named the best actor in a movie released in the last 12 months at a Hollywood awards ceremony called the Golden Globes. Because he was unable to accept the award himself, his wife Simone gave a beautiful acceptance speech on Chadwick's behalf, dedicating the win to that little voice inside all of us that tells you, you can. Also honoured at the awards night and winning the award for Best Animated Film was the Disney Pixar movie Soul, which has a similarly uplifting message. So, yay for positivity.
Q&A call out.
Calling all space cadets. Calling all stargazers. A reminder that the next Squiz Kids Q&A will be with Professor David Flannery, the Aussie professor who helped put the Mars rover Perseverance into space. How cool is that? Professor Flannery is based at QUT, a university in Queensland, and each night he sends programming instructions to the Perseverance about where to search on Mars for signs of life. He's ready to answer all of your questions about the rover and how they're planning to send a second rocket ship now to pick up and bring home the rocks that the Perseverance is busily collecting. I've put a bunch of links to Perseverance resources in today's episode notes, which you and a teacher or parent might like to look at to come up with some really great questions for the professor. And remember, there's going to be a great prize for the best question. But don't waste a minute. You've only got until the weekend to get your questions in. Email them to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which state of Australia yesterday introduced a ban on single-use plastics? That's right, it was South Australia. Question number 2. What sort of animal did a family in Denver make out of snow in their front yard? That's right, it's a snake. Question number 3. Name the superhero film in which the late American actor Chadwick Boseman was the lead character. Yeah, it was Black Panther.
Shout-outs.
It's March 2. Birthdays of Pitch Perfect star Rebel Wilson, Coldplay singer Chris Martin, kids author Dr. Seuss, and former Soviet Union leader Mikhail Gorbachev. I just threw him in to keep you on your toes. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Adelaide from Geraldton, Aidan from Hackett, Frankie from Dulwich Hill, Temperance from Kempsey, Oliver from Port Macquarie, Jack from Hawthorne East, Sam from Warunga, and Julia from Jindalee. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Simi from Forest Lake, Oscar from Richmond, and Nathan from Eastwood. Happy birthday one and all. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 4B from Caringbah North Public School, all the Year 5 and 6 kids from Concord West Public School, Classes 4T, 4D and 6B from St Joseph's Primary School in Kempsey, all the kids in Mrs Varner's and Mrs Prang's Year 3 class at Southern Vales Christian College, and a special Squiz Kids shout-out to Mr Hull from 5-6H at Abbotsford Public School, who's turning the big 4-0 today. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you'll want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.